Is Usyk a tougher fight than Wilder, Tyson?
Usyk?
Yeah.
Hell no. Are you joking?
Little midget beat a bodybuilder. Well, I ain't a bodybuilder, sucker.
If he's a little middleweight, and if he's no good, then easy money. But he knows how good Alexander Usyk is.
He's scared of Usyk. That's the main thing.
So the wait is almost over for the undisputed heavyweight champion, something we haven't seen since Lennox Lewis achieved it back in 1999. The title of undisputed is more than just a collection of belts. It represents the pinnacle of modern boxing, a single fighter standing atop of the entire division, holding all the major titles, providing fans a clear and definitive ruler of a division. For the heavyweight division, often held as the crown jewel of boxing, it carries a legacy that transcends the sport and makes you part of an immortal class of champions. The likes of Muhammad Ali, Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, George Foreman, Joe Frazier, and Sonny Liston. And all these heavyweight greats have cemented their legacies by achieving such a feat, making this title ever more precious in the four-belt era. After what seems like a back and forth between heavyweight champions, promoters and broadcasters trying to make an undisputed fight happen only for it to fall flat on its face, Saudi Arabia stepped in and shelled out the big bucks to finally make a heavyweight undisputed fight. Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk will finally get into the ring with each other on February the 17th, 2024. An interesting clash of styles where size, stances, ring IQ could play a significant part in the final outcome of the fight. And in today's tactical overview, we'll analyze the respective strengths, weaknesses, strategies for the up-and-coming super fight. There'll be a legacy defining as to who is the best heavyweight champion of this generation. So on that note, let's dive right into it. First up, let's talk about the Gypsy King. Tyson Fury has had a tough time of recently, with many fans being fed up with his cherry picking, having had plenty of chances to fight the likes of Joshua and Usyk over the years and retiring multiple times in the process. But Fury once again came out of retirement, taking his chance to earn big money in Saudi versus the former UFC champion Francis Ngannou, no doubt thinking it would be an easy payday. Fury built on a pretty dismal performance, even being knocked down in the process by an MMA fighter's first professional boxing fight, with many feeling he in fact lost that fight. An embarrassing feat for someone who has openly claimed to be the greatest heavyweight ever.
I'm a legend in this game. And you can't deny it. I'm the best heavyweight's ever been. There ain't never been one who could beat me. Because you know why? I'm not just being like confident. 6'9" frame. 270 pound weight, can move like a middleweight, can hit like a thunderstorm, and can take a punch like anybody else.
Now, credit where credit's due, Ngannou turned up and definitely had Fury's number on the night. But many claim that the Gypsy King was unfit and underestimated the bout and came in completely unprepared. Or could it just be that Tyson is potentially on the decline? Regardless, he got the victory officially, and it does help set the stage to this super fight. But now, next question, how will this affect him psychologically with so many pulling him down? Does he know he's coming to an end, or will this in fact bring out the best of him in the ring? Something we've seen happen many times before, including against Vladimir Klitschko and Deontay Wilder. A motivated Fury is a very dangerous fighter in my opinion, but what will he need to do to win this one? The puzzle, which is Alexander Usyk, is yet to be solved by any opponent. If Tyson wants to win this one, he has to use all his strengths to his advantage, one being his exceptional size and reach advantage over Usyk. Ever since Tyson took on Kronk's trainer, Sugar Hill, we've seen him take a much more aggressive approach, looking to get behind his jab and set up that right hand for a knockout. Now sure, he might be able to establish some dominance in the ring against others, but against Usyk, it's clear more will be required. A more fundamental, straightforward approach I've seen with Joshua and Dubois is not going to be enough, and in my opinion, we need to see a different side to the Gypsy King. So now, let's look at key areas that will be required to win the fight. Now, there are two ways Fury can utilize size to his advantage. He can look to box from the outside and establish the jab early to control distance and keep Usyk on the outside. Fury, in my opinion as well, is one of the best in the sport using feints and giving his opponents different looks, baffling previous opponents. In the case of Usyk, who's a fighter who does like to take the early rounds to download his competitor's movements before he really starts to commit to attacks. If Tyson can frustrate Usyk early on in terms of working him out or prolong him to close the range to get off his quick combinations, it could once again play into Fury's favour when Usyk comes in to close the gap at mid to short range potentially. Fury, of course, is also the much bigger man, and even if he comes in lighter for this fight, to handle the movement of the Ukrainian, I suspect he will still need to make this very messy. At close range, clinching, using his body weight to drain him. But also taking the opportunity to fight him in close exchanges and tying him up could prove pivotal later down the line to win this fight. Now, you'd think and imagine that Usyk will be looking to avoid this at all costs and will be looking to use his constant movement for keeping his head off the center line. And it'll be no doubt interesting to find out if Usyk can handle the Gypsy King on the inside. Now, Fury has fought and switched to Southpaw stance many times before, and although I'm not saying this in itself is what's going to win the fight as a whole, I wouldn't be surprised if he made a switch to Southpaw stance to give Usyk further problems to think about. Fury changing to a Southpaw stance could potentially create less space for Usyk by having a more closed-off route of attack, and it could allow Fury to get his jab off more. It'll be interesting to see if Tyson will do this at some points in the fight. We've also seen him shift off the ropes into a southpaw to continue his attacks and give him a positional advantage. And personally, I feel this is another way that Fury can keep Usyk at bay, defining the gap for his own punches. Chisora, of all people, had great success shifting off to a southpaw stance to get his jab off, while this same southpaw stance gave him the ability to close the gap quickly and get on the inside. And of course, southpaw versus southpaw encounters can be unusual and could just give Fury the opportunity to land his power punches. Now, ever since the first fight versus Joshua and Dubois, the weak points for Usyk appears to be well-timed shots to the body or midsection. There's even evidence of this from amateur days. Now, Joshua had success during their second encounter by throwing the right hand when at close range, where he saw much discomfort in Usyk taking these shots even if they were low. And this also worked really well for Daniel Dubois when he was coming into range. Also strained a little low, but they had impact, hurting Usyk. And I do believe this should be a target for the Fury camp also, with hard right hands to the body. So not only could this slow down the Ukrainian, it could even take him out if he lands a well-placed shot. And this tactic itself may play into Fury's ability to control the distance if he has to get past the reach of Fury to land anything significant. It may just give him the opportunity to purposely land these blows. From range, Fury also mixes up his backhand behind his jab, throwing the right hand to the body after he uses a double flick jab, which often help to occupy the guard before going downstairs. However, he does need his opponent to be stationary, which, to be frank, Usyk hardly ever is. Now, fighting on the inside and applying pressure is a lot easier said than done, and since he's moved up to heavyweight, only Derek Chisora and Anthony Joshua in certain moments of their second fight have really managed to put Usyk under any kind of intense pressure and in any uncomfortable position on the inside. However, this approach can lead to more energy expenditure and getting countered coming into range. Fury, against the likes of Deontay Wilder, Otto Wallin, Steve Cunningham, opted to use the high guard to walk them down, closing the space for them not to get off the full extension of their punches. Usyk does not have that one-punch knockout power at heavyweight. It's more a culmination of shots. So there's the possibility we could see Fury resort to going into a high guard and walking Usyk down to close the gap, fighting him in that inside position, taking one to get one. If he gets in that position, don't be surprised if he starts using lots of dirty tactics, including using framing with his forearm to get off punches before the ref tries to break them up. And with a 270-pound plus heavyweight coming forward, looking to fight you in those positions, it'll be something Usyk has never really truly encountered. I feel Fury can do some damage with body shots possibly early in the fight, and from the mid-rounds onwards he could take more of an aggressive approach. He might just be able to take out the Ukrainian. Now let's take a look at the crafty Ukrainian Alexander Usyk. Going into this fight, Usyk could be considered the favourite considering Fury's last performance. However, some gaps in his game have started to appear since moving up to heavyweight division. As mentioned, he can be hurt to the body and struggle with the size disparity at times. His resilience, stamina and work rate to keep pushing through and upping the intensity is a testament to how mentally strong Usyk is. And ever since Alexander moved up to heavyweight, the dream has always been to become the undisputed heavyweight champion.
Does the goal remain the same, to become heavyweight champion, and do you still believe you can achieve that?
Абсолютным чемпионом мира.
The undisputed heavyweight champion.
Brilliant, thank you very
No
much.
just world champion.
Not just world champion.
No just world champion. Undisputed world champion.
In the era of heavyweight Goliaths, including his up-and-coming opponent, Usyk has used his incredible mobile style and skill to his advantage. In most cases, completely outboxing most of his opponents, with most heavyweights for the most part in this era not being as mobile or agile on their feet. However, he comes up against a very different heavyweight this time in size and style to what he's ever faced in his career. Fury has mocked him countless times about being too small to handle him.
Middleweight, you say you want the WBC, and all road leads to a 7-foot behemoth that will absolutely destroy you, middleweight. Middleweight, you will get smashed to bits.
He's put him down in public. You'd hope Fury is treating him seriously behind closed doors, otherwise Usyk could run rings around him. Alexander Usyk, for me, has proven he can beat much bigger men. He's already become an undisputed champion and knows what it takes, and his impact was beyond brute force. He's an artist of the sweet science with one of the best ring IQs in the sport, and that's exactly what he'll need to defeat Fury. But now let's take a look at the individual elements that will be required from him. Now, a pivotal factor in Usyk's approach to this fight lies in his exceptional footwork and movement, testament to the mastery of his outboxing style, adapting his amateur and Soviet style seamlessly. Usyk employs a constant pendulum step strategically positioned at the edge of his opponent's range, utilizing that in and out movement dynamically. This not only grants him the ability to punish overcommitments, but also showcases his prowess as one of the best outboxers in the sport. While as a southpaw, Usyk's intelligent maneuvers to secure the outside position cleverly align with his jab right hand. This typical southpaw tactic not only avoids the orthodox fighter's right hand, it strategically places him for effective setups, particularly with the left hand, or even the right hook from a different angle. Against Fury, Usyk's success hinges on adapting to Fury's approach. If Fury advances with the high guard aiming to close the range, Usyk's dynamic movement favouring the right comes crucial to avoid the clinches, controlling the distance with his lead hand. While the other side is Fury opts to use long-range boxing, Usyk can assert pressure using his pendulum steps and lead hand to draw out attacks from Fury, giving him the opportunity to counter. And examining Fury's tendencies against southpaws, such as fight against Wallin, it revealed his preference for a lower lead hand guard, which did create hesitation on Wallin and taking the outside angle, as he would sometimes throw his lead left hook. With that being the case, Usyk therefore has to employ constant lateral movement while slipping off the center line constantly. This for me is the way to disrupt Fury's jab and lead hand, for him to set up his own attacks. Notably, Fury's recent opponents have been relatively stationary, providing an opportunity for Usyk's lateral movement to really shine. If Fury hasn't prepared to turn and pivot with Usyk, it will simply help the Ukrainian get off more of his combinations and single shots from the outside angle. Now, one of the most remarkable highlights in Usyk's style is his masterful use of his lead hand. It's akin to fencing, seamlessly integrated with his pendulum footwork. His southpaw jab is a standout feature with staggering stats. On average, around 28 jabs thrown per round, and one of the highest jab thrown percentages in the pound-for-pound list, just behind Dmitry Bivol. But what is truly extraordinary is his ability to do it at heavyweight consistently, employing the lead hand through a 12-round bout. In his up-and-coming clash with Fury, I expect Usyk to leverage this skill strategically. If Fury aims to control the center or box in the back foot, Usyk will likely use the lead hand to try and push Fury back, disrupting his rhythm and applying relentless pressure with it. The tactical approach not only enforces unnecessary defensive reactions from opponents, but it also sets the stage for Usyk's dynamic movement, incorporating the pendulum to reset or slip punches and attack from different angles. Usyk's jab serves for more than just a probing tool. It's a distraction, forcing opponents to move or open up their guard to counter its persistent presence. Very much functioning like a fencing probe, Alexander constantly changes the level and position of his lead hand, again creating indecision in his opponents as to whether to open up or defend. In essence, the ever-changing variation of Usyk's lead hand would provide him the crucial moment and control at specific moments of the fight, and without question, it's his best weapon in his arsenal. Usyk's ability to win this fight will also rely on the strategic art of closing the distance against Tyson Fury. Employing well-timed entries while utilizing his feints to probe Fury's reactions will be vital, while also reading Fury's own feints will be crucial, or he could find himself walking onto an unnecessary punch. With that being said, Usyk will need to do more with the lead hand, footwork, slips and level changes. Fury's long-range advantage is going to be evident. Given his larger frame and reach, Usyk will most likely recognize that winning this fight at distance isn't the path to victory. Instead, Usyk's brilliance will rely on his ability to close the gap, unleashing combinations with surgical finesse before moving out of danger, either pivoting out to his right or moving linearly backwards to reset. Attacks to Fury's body will be key for this fight. Since Usyk's move up to the heavyweight division, we've seen him use quick, transitioning combos from head to body, and it's believed that this will keep Fury guessing, as well as disrupting his defensive rhythm. Fury will look to clinch and fight on the inside, so each punch will need to be a strategic investment, as it could come down to how well Usyk can take these shots from Fury. Finally, adapting to Fury's unorthodox style is a pivotal aspect for Usyk's game plan. Fury's unpredictable movements will simply require Usyk to remain flexible in his strategy in this fight. Whether Fury opts with more elusive head movement, unorthodox feints, sudden shifts and distance, Usyk must stay attuned to his dynamic nature. In this fight, however, saying that, Fury's movement, though unconventional, can create openings, and if any fighter can exploit these openings, it's Usyk. And he needs to be ready for effective counterattacks and well-timed defensive maneuvers if this does happen. Furthermore, Usyk must be ready for Fury's potential shifts to the southpaw stance, a move that alters the guard position and opens up new attacks of angle. Fury may just do this if he wants to try and close the distance effectively, but it's a lot easier said than done, obviously, and it all comes down to how Usyk and Fury read the fight. The other aspect he must consider is being prepared to fight in at close quarters. Usyk's strategy is always very graceful, but I think he must be prepared to counter Fury where the distance is closed, as this for me is one of Usyk's weak points in his game, and he simply can't rely on the ref to break things up, or Fury will simply punish him in these situations. In the collision between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk, the stage is set for a monumental clash. In the heavyweight division, these two titans, each with a unique arsenal, skills, strategies, are poised to engage in a battle that could reshape the landscape of the heavyweight hierarchy. Will the boxing artistry of Usyk be able to face the towering challenge of Fury's unorthodox style? And the question looms large: can he close the distance wisely and navigate the uncharted territories of Fury's movements and size, or will it just prove too much? Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk both have confronted challenges that attested their existence. They're not just on the list here, they're two men that have had to go through adversity and show unyielding resolve in two very different situations in life. Tyson Fury, a man marked by the flow of life, has faced his battles both in and out of the ring, struggles with mental health. Personal demons have cast shadows upon his journey, yet like a phoenix he rises. He finds a way to test the human spirit and an ability to endure, overcome and emerge stronger from the darkest depths. Usyk, a cruiserweight who ventured into the heavyweight arena, faced skepticism and uncertainty. Yet with every challenge he's proved everyone wrong, and his greatness lies in adapting to this uncertainty. His journey as a Ukrainian amid hardships of war, a man that symbolizes not just personal growth, but facing adversity in and out of the ring. He carries the weight of his challenges, becoming a symbol of unwavering strength from a country navigating its own struggles who seek pursuit for greatness. But the final chapter of their stories unfolds within the boxing ring. Spectators will bear witness to the supremacy of this collision. Only one can become undisputed and cement their legacy as the best of this generation, statistically. Thanks for watching. Leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I'll catch you in the next one.